Gleaming.
They're all in line. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. And there goes Twilight Gleaming right out for the early lead. Opening up a length and a half from one-timer. Averly Jane, Coffee Maker, and Twilight Jet on the inside. Vertiginous is next. And then on the far outside, Run Curtis Run, followed by Time to Party. Break of 2 to Go Bears Go. Armor is next on the outside, then Hierarchy and Derry Jane at the back of the pack. So they make their way around the far turn, and it is Twilight Gleaming and One-Timer, and the two of them are right together up front. Averly Jane has to come from off the pace. She's 2.5 lengths behind. On the inside is Twilight Jet. Coffee Maker is next, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. One-Timer on the outside of Twilight Gleaming. These two with Twilight Gleaming in front. One-Timer on the outside. Trying to come up the fence is Hierarchy with a late bid. In the center, Coffee Maker is coming too. Derry Name from the back of the pack is flying. Here's the wire. It's Twilight Gleaming. Twilight Gleaming has done it. Go Bears Go was second. It's a blanket finish for third in 56.24.
Wesley Ward does it again. This has been his race since its inception, a young race on the Breeders' Cup program. Once again, he goes home with the win in the Silks of Stone Street Stables. It was Twilight Gleaming, Simon.
Very, very impressive victory here. I mean, got out. I tell you, a good run from Twilight Jet, who had a nice trip in behind horses there, but Twilight Gleaming tried to make every pole and winning one, and I think didn't get headed here by the 9 to the outside, and once they came off the turn here, NYRA Ortiz got the lead change. I was looking for horses coming from off the pace, but nobody was a major threat. Take note of the horse in the orange cap, Derry Name, who I think came from far back, had a little bit of traffic here, trying to navigate through horses, maybe needed a little extra real estate here. But the Twilight Gleaming wins here, Rishi, and very impressive in the end.
That's an incredible performance, I thought, to go that pace early on and then to hang in there just enough. That's where I think Del Mar plays its part, to allow these horses that have gone hard early on to just have enough in hand to hang on and get over the line.
That's the difference, Christina, between 5 and 5.5. This race is run at Keeneland. Twilight Gleaming probably loses. Derry Name needed that extra 110 yards, comes rolling. Very different animal, the 5 furlong turf course compared to the 5.5.
We knew Twilight Gleaming was fast, but we all assumed Averly Jane would be on the lead. How was it that she was the quicker of those two from Wesley Ward today?
Well, this is the sort of Twilight Gleaming that we saw, or we expected to see. We saw a little bit of a Royal Ascot. We saw it again in France. Big run from Go Bears Go. I have to say, that's a fantastic effort. I think he struggled a little bit with the early pace, but in the first time blinkers, he stayed on really strongly for his young trainer, David Lochnan, who's got Hello You running in the Juvenile Fillies turf later.
One more look at the isolated replay as Twilight Gleaming comes home under NYRA Ortiz Jr. Simon, he rode her earlier in her career. He was aboard for the first 2 starts and 2 of her most sparkling performances. That win at Belmont over Firm Going, and again here today.
Yeah, obviously got the key to her, and you don't want to take away anything that comes easy to a horse going 5 furlongs, and she broke sharp. And at that point, you know, you've got to forget about the stablemates, Averly Jane. You just got to ride your own race and try and win it, and he did exactly that.
Congratulations to the connections of Twilight Gleaming in the Silks of Stone Street Stables. Peerhouse stud in Ireland, the winning breeders of this filly. She's a daughter of National Defence out of the Dancily Mare Thames pageant, and all European pedigree on this girl today.
We'll claim it as a victory of sorts.
She's a bit of both, right, with her race record?
Well, you know, it's. I think we can find little bits in the pedigree to attach ourselves to. But from a European perspective, we watch that result and we just think, just follow Wesley Ward. This is his 3rd win in this race in a row. You know, when it comes to sprinting juveniles, he is excellent.
And by the way, a few moments ago, you saw Donna Barton Brothers interviewing NYRA Ortiz Jr. for the NBC broadcast. There will be a lot of questions. That pony, his name is King Kong. Kristen Mulhall is the owner of the King, and he is one that has already gained his own fan group out here on the West Coast in the mornings. Good to see him out there working in the afternoons as well. Twilight Gleaming, your winner. Go Bears, go second. We're actually still waiting for the photo for show. It was so close. And we have some big-time names on hand here to enjoy the races today. NFL Hall of Famer John Elway right there with Jimmy Bell of Darley and Godolphin enjoying this afternoon. You never know, as we say time and time again, Simon, who you'll meet at the racetrack.
Get a lot of crossover between the major sports here. Former NFL athletes, usually a lot of big baseball players have an interest, obviously, in horse racing. So it's good to expose them to a big day like this. Clearly enjoying it there in the paddock as we see Twilight Gleaming come back to the winner's circle for Stone Street Farms. Barbara Banke, her and Wesley Ward have had a great association, and this is what Wesley does. You're right. I mean, you don't look for him for horses that, that run a mile or further. He just doesn't buy those types of horses or have those types of horses sent to him. This is his MO.
And what a result for Barbara Banke as well. She was just recently named head of the board of the Breeders' Cup, the first female to hold that role. She has given back through horse racing. She has continued Stone Street Farm and Stone Street Stables and just their breeding program, their broodmare band. They stand the mighty Curlin. They have been huge supporters of international racing and travel with these young horses as well.
And it has benefited international racing enormously when you get, obviously, with the likes of Godolphin and Coolmore, they've been happy to go they'll go west or go east, but it's nice to see when it happens the other way. And connections of horses in America are happy to campaign them abroad. It's very exciting for the sport.
We heard a little bit of a cheer from the crowd. There's the result of that photo. So Wesley Ward actually running first, third, and fifth. He's all across the board. Coffee Maker running well to be third. Darren in fourth, and then Averly Jane in fifth, Simon.
Yeah, I think, nothing too out of the ordinary here. I mean, we talk about those horses. I think most people thought, the top five there all had a legitimate chance coming in, maybe not particularly in that order, but I thought this was a very, very good performance here today from Twilight Gleaming.
Here are your prices. If you supported Twilight Gleaming, $12.40 back for that $2 wager. Go Bears Go at 12 to 1, 1060 for the place. Coffee Maker, big price at 24 to 1. You get $11.20 back there for the show. Exacta and trifecta payout.